All right. So, good evening, everyone. Um, so, let's continue talking about perfect matchings and cubic graphs. Right. So, that is what we were discussing at the end of yesterday's lecture. So, we noted a few well-known facts and conjectures about cubic graphs with regards to their perfect matchings. Right. All right. So, I want to take a slightly different viewpoint today. So
That.
perfect matchings, yeah.
Oh, so did you start the lecture just now?
Yeah, I haven't said anything important. So we're going to continue talking about perfect matchings and cubic graphs.
We just, can you just recap what you said in the last 5 minutes?
I haven't said anything important. We are going
Okay,
to
okay.
talk about perfect matchings and cubic graphs. Okay?
Perfect matching cubic graphs. Okay, okay, fine.
Yeah. So, as I may have mentioned earlier, perfect matchings are also known as one factors. Okay? Because a perfect matching is simply a spanning one regular subgraph. Okay? And so in the same sense, you can talk about k factors, right? So we can generalize to k factors, right? So that will be a spanning k regular subgraph.
Sir,
Yeah,
I have this silly doubt. So
yeah.
if there's an empty graph, so
Mhm.
like the empty set a perfect match.
Is the empty set as perfect matching? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, generally you would assume that. Yeah.
yeah.
So the
So
empty
it's
graph has
not
a perfect matching.
one regular, right?
Sure. It is one regular because every vertex has degree one. By empty you mean no vertices and no edges, or do you
No,
mean
no edges.
oh? So there are vertices.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, then there is no perfect matching. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
So empty graph with
Oh,
one or
sorry,
more
sorry.
vertex.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I got it. I got it. Yeah,
Yeah. So the empty graph with one or more vertex does not have a perfect matching.
yeah, yeah. I
But
got
the
it. Yeah,
null graph, which is zero vertices, has a perfect matching.
yeah, yeah. That's it. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
basically, there is no edge in the graph, so there cannot be any perfect matching.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The other thing was the thing. Okay. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay, so we can generalize now to k factors, but we are actually not going to be interested in k, arbitrary k. We
So, sir,
will
I have a question.
focus.
So, K factor is basically a spanning K regular subgraph, right?
Right, right,
Okay, okay, okay.
right. So, what is a two factor? That is what we are going to be interested in today. So, two factor is a spanning two regular subgraph. Okay, so what does a two factor look like? What does each component of a two factor look like?
It will be a cycle.
Bunch of
One
dissonant
cycle,
cycles.
vertex disjoint, a bunch of vertex disjoint
Yeah, a
cycles.
bunch of Harte-Dijon cycles.
Bunch of vertex disjoint cycles. Okay, good. That span the entire vertex set. That span the entire vertex set of the graph. Okay, good. So now I want to ask you, supposing you have a cubic graph. So now I will call cubic graphs three regular graphs. Let's say G is a three regular graph. Do you see a connection between one factors and two factors?
Can you repeat the question?
Do you see a connection between one factors and two factors in a
If
three
we
regular graph?
if
Yeah,
we remove all the means two or two regular subgraph from a three regular graph, then we will get only the one factors, right?
good. And what about the converse?
Yeah, the converse is also true.
Right, right. So the observation is the following, that a subset F of the edge set of a graph is a one factor if and only if the complement of this set is a two factor. Does everybody see this? In a three regular graph,
Yeah.
a subset is a one factor if and only if its complement is a two factor. Okay. So why is this important? I want you to note this because basically any statement about perfect matchings in cubic graphs can also be viewed as a statement about two factors in a cubic graph. They are related in a very clear way. Right? So any statement about one factors is also a statement about two factors. I mean, that's the intuitive point I want to make here. All right? Okay, so let me ask you the following question. There is a special type of two factor which you all know. It's called a Hamiltonian cycle. Right? So note that a Hamiltonian cycle is a two factor in any graph, and in particular it is a two factor in a cubic graph, right? If there is a Hamiltonian cycle. So in a cubic graph, what does it mean? So if a set of edges is a Hamiltonian cycle, the complement has to be a perfect matching, but it is a perfect matching with some special property. Just like Hamiltonian cycle is a two factor with a special property.
So I think so. If we take a Hamiltonian cycle, so it passes through every vertex of G, and its complement is H complement is a perfect matching.
Yeah.
And any edge of the perfect matching is basically a chord of the cycle, chord of the Hamiltonian cycle.
Good. Okay. Yes.
Any edge of the perfect matching is a chord of the Ham cycle. And so we know that there are n by 2 such edges, pairwise disjoint chords. If the graph has n vertices, there are n by 2 pairwise disjoint chords of the Ham cycle.
Yeah. Okay. I want you to take it further. So I want you to tell me when is a perfect matching, when is the complement of a perfect matching a Hamiltonian cycle? I want you to tell me in terms of the perfect matching properties.
So when it's complement a perfect matching Ham cycle.
Right. So let's say F is a subset of the edges of your graph, and G is a three regular graph, right? So my question is the following. F is a Hamiltonian cycle if and only if the complement F bar, as I defined here, is a one factor, in other words, a perfect matching with some special property. Right? We know that two factors become one factors and one factors become two factors. So Hamiltonian cycles are special two factors. So what are the special perfect matchings corresponding to Hamiltonian cycles?
Can we say like each of the edges like a trivial bridge of Hamiltonian cycle? Something like that.
Sure. Right. So you want to keep going further in that direction. So think about this way. If you remove a perfect matching from a three regular graph, if you remove a one factor from a three regular graph, what will you get?
A two factor.
You'll get a two factor, right? The two factor could have many components. So I want you to think in that direction. So how many components will you get in this case when you remove the one factor?
Exactly one.
Exactly one component. It is a one factor such that G minus F bar is connected.
Okay, sir, I got the point. So basically, so if F bar is a one factor, so F bar consists of exactly n by 2 edges. And the edges are pairwise disjoint. And do you know that the complement of F bar is a two factor but is connected? So there is only one component. So that means since F bar is a one factor, we can say that if we take any two edges in F bar, say UV and U prime V prime, that means there is one of the four possible types of edges between U prime, UV prime, VU
But
prime.
why are you making this so complicated? I mean, this is just the observation I want you to make. This is an observation. It doesn't need a complicated proof.
No, because just now you said its complement is connected. Complement of F
Right.
is
So
connected.
I want you to observe this. This, if and only if, I want you to observe this. It is not supposed to require a complicated proof. Right? So do you see why this is true? Or do you not see why this is true?
Yeah, it is
Yes,
true.
sir. Because G minus F bar will be the Hamiltonian cycle.
Exactly. Right? If a two factor is connected, it has to be a Hamiltonian cycle. In other words, this is actually a definition of Hamiltonian cycle. A Hamiltonian cycle is simply a two factor that is connected. Okay? Connected two factor. That is just a definition of Hamiltonian cycle.
Okay,
Right?
actually, I overlooked that statement that G minus F bar is connected. Yeah, then it is true. It is true.
Okay? So, Hamiltonian cycles in three regular graphs, well, Hamiltonian cycles in general are simply connected two factors. And for a set of edges to be a Hamiltonian cycle in a three regular graph, it is the same as saying that the complement is a one factor whose removal keeps the graph connected. Okay, good. All right. So I want to now revisit a conjecture that we discussed a few lectures ago, because I want to tell you something related to that conjecture. Let's see, where was that? Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah.
if we can indeed remove perfect matching and get what is that? Hamiltonian cycle, I don't think like our graphs can be outer planar.
If you can remove a perfect matching and get a Hamiltonian cycle, your graph can't be outer planar.
Yeah.
Right. So you take a Hamiltonian cycle and now you need to put a perfect matching, but sure. So long as you assume your graph is simple, I think that is a correct statement. Did you assume that the graph is simple?
Yeah.
Okay. So for a simple graph, I believe that is a true statement.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. So let's go back to one of the conjectures we discussed. Let's see. It's related to.
No, sir, why can that be outer planar is not quite clear to me.
It's not relevant right now. We can discuss it offline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or after the class.
Yeah. After the class is fine. Okay. So let's go to Tate's theorem. Right. Barnett's conjecture. Okay. So what I mentioned this conjecture when we were talking about Tate's conjecture, right? So basically we proved Tate's theorem, which says that proving the four-color theorem is the same as showing that any three-connected cubic plane graph is three-edge colorable, right? And so Tate proved this correct theorem, but then Tate falsely assumed that all such graphs are Hamiltonian and therefore they are three-edge colorable because the complement will be a perfect matching. So you will get three colors, two from the Hamiltonian cycle and the third color is the complement of your Hamiltonian cycle, right? But that conjecture is actually, that assumption of Tate was actually false, as was shown later by Tutt. But Tate took it to be self-evident statement, and that's not a self-evident; it's actually a false statement, right? And what Barnett did, Barnett said that you can add one more condition here and get a bipartite three-connected cubic planar graph, and all these graphs have to be Hamiltonian. In particular, Tutt's counterexample is a non-bipartite graph. Right? So that's Barnett's conjecture. I just want to write it down. Every three-connected planar cubic graph. Let's see. Right, so we are looking at three connected cubic planar bipartite graph, right? And it's saying that it is Hamiltonian. Hamiltonian, to be Hamiltonian means that it has a Hamiltonian cycle. Okay, good. But what is a Hamiltonian cycle? It is simply a connected two-factor, right? Hamiltonian cycle is nothing but a connected two-factor, i.e. a connected two-factor. Okay. All right. Are there any questions or concerns regarding Barnett's conjecture? Right. So this is open. Right? This is an open problem.
Sir, can you give an example for this thing?
Sure.
Maybe a three connected.
Yeah. Let's take an example. Right. That's a good point. So let's take this example, the cube graph, one of the simplest three connected cubic planar bipartite graphs. Okay. So can we find a Hamiltonian cycle in this?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, show me one.
4765 1230.
4765 1230 and back to 4. Good. Right? So this is an example of Barnett's conjecture. Every three connected cubic planar bipartite graph is Hamiltonian. It has a connected two-factor. Okay. So motivated, I mean, this, I'm showing this as a motivation, but this was not the motivation of the original authors. The original authors had different motivations, which I'm not fully aware of, but they discuss in the research papers. So I'm going to put this as a motivation. How about we ask the other question? Which are the three connected cubic planar bipartite graphs? Or let's even remove planar. Let's just ask for bipartite graphs that have a disconnected two-factor. Okay, so now I want to ask for a disconnected two-factor rather than a connected two-factor. Okay, so here is the question. Which cubic, actually, yeah, I'm going to replace cubic by 3 regular because then the one factor two factor connection is very obvious. Which 3 regular
So sir, I have a question. So it's possible that in a given graph G, A given graph G have several possible two factors, some of which are connected, some of which are disconnected.
That's right. That's right. And I want you to find me a disconnected two factor in this example.
In this example, in this graph Q3.
Yeah.
In the cube graph Q3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So disconnected two factor, I think it would be, I will take simply the outer cycle and the inner cycle.
Good. Yes. So 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7. These two, they comprise a two factor, and that is a disconnected two factor. It has two components in particular.
Means I think in this particular graph there are many different possible labeled two factors, disconnected two factors.
Yeah, there are lots of possibilities. You can take any 4 cycle, and deleting the 4 vertices will give you another 4 cycle.
Exactly. But any disconnected two factor must have exactly two components in this graph.
In this graph, yeah, because you have only 8 vertices and it is bipartite.
Yeah. That's what. Yeah.
So the question I'm asking now is, which 3 regular bipartite graphs have disconnected two factors? Okay. So you can either keep bipartite or you can keep planar, and you get 2 or 3 different questions, right? So let me put it like this. So you have multiple questions formed by taking different combinations of these. Okay, so we are looking at 3 regular graphs. We want the graph to have a disconnected two factor, and if we can't solve the general problem, we are going to impose some conditions like bipartite or planar or both. Okay, so I'm just posing this as a motivation for some recent research results, recent as in the last 20 years or whatever. Before we do that, I want to think about disconnected two factors in terms of one factors, just like we did here. What does it mean for a two factor to be disconnected?
Are these results being investigated in the last 20 years?
Yeah, and there are some open problems as well, which I want to tell you about.
Okay, so basically they are very recent problems, that's why.
Yeah.
Recent problem.
Okay, so now I want to ask you, what does it mean for a set of edges to be a disconnected two factor? What does it mean in terms of the complement edge set? Okay, so here is my question. So, well, I want to basically make an observation. So G is a 3 regular graph, and F is a subset of the edge set. And I want to say that F is a disconnected two factor if and only if the complement of F is a one factor with some special property.
Is it a bond or something? Like,
you're on the right track. You're on the right track. Yeah.
1 second.
Right, so he is thinking that it might be a bond, but I am not too sure if that is always true.
So basically the question is, what is the property star which if complement must satisfy, right? Right.
Yeah.
I think it will be a bond between the two factor cycles.
So here this is not a bond, right? Here, these four edges, they do not comprise a bond. Do you see why this is not a bond?
Yeah, because like one side is disconnected.
Right. Exactly. Right. So it may not be a bond, but it should contain a bond, right?
Yeah.
A cut type.
But this graph is not three regular, right? Because two vertices have
Oh,
degree
yeah.
2.
Sure. This graph is not three regular. Let me add parallel edges and make it three regular by doing some cheating. This makes it three regular, right? Yeah, this makes it three
Yeah.
regular.
And you have to add another, yeah. Then it's three
Yeah.
regular.
Yeah.
But it is not simple graph.
That's okay. I did not say that anywhere so far.
Okay.
Everything we discussed so far today is applicable to three regular graphs that may not be simple.
So the property of being simple is not mandatory here.
No.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
So it should be a cut.
It should contain a cut. Let's put it that way. So that is one way to do it.
Okay.
So we will just say that it is a one factor that contains a cut of the graph, a non-empty cut of the graph, right? Because the empty set is also a cut.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So I'm just going to put here, it is a one factor that contains a cut of the graph. A non-empty cut. A non-empty cut of G.
So sir, I have a question here.
Mm-hmm.
So if F is a disconnected two factor, that means F has at least two components.
Right, exactly.
Say I take two components as F1 and F2, which are both cycles, because components of F will be cycles.
All are cycles, yeah.
Vertex disjoint cycles, which span the vertex set of G. So suppose F1, F2, they are two cycles, and basically then the cut corresponding to vertex set of F1, that cut is contained in F bar, right?
That's right, exactly.
Okay. Similarly, the cut corresponding to partial of F2 is contained in F bar.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's why F bar contains non-empty cut of G.
Right. And whenever it contains a non-empty cut, the complement will necessarily be disconnected. Right? Because
it has to be, yeah. Because it is a cut actually. It is a cut.
It is a cut, so it will definitely disconnect the graph.
Disconnected, okay, fine.
Right? So this is an observation that I want you to make. Right? Every time we ask a question about two factors, we are also asking a question about one factors when we are talking about three regular graphs. Okay. All right. So this is the general theme that I want to go in, and I want to tell you things related to this theme. Okay. So there are some results that have been proven, and there are some open problems, and I'll tell you about both today and in the next two lectures. So let's see. So it turns out that the planar case of this problem is actually solved. So
basically you want to say that the three regular planar graphs which have disconnected two factors have been characterized.
Right, exactly.
Okay, fine.
Exactly. So the question is, characterize the planar cubic graphs that have a disconnected, that do not have a disconnected two factor.
So sir, okay. I just have a question. So if suppose G is a planar cubic graph that do not have a disconnected two factor. So you are saying that we have the mathematicians have obtained characterizations for such graphs G.
Right. Exactly.
So now if G has no disconnected two factor, so if G has indeed a two factor, then that must be connected.
Exactly. Every two factor is Hamiltonian.
So we can say that G is Hamiltonian if and only if G has a two factor. G is Hamiltonian if and only if G has a two factor, right?
Give me 1 second to think about that statement. So we know the ones that do not have a disconnected two factor. In all the other graphs, every two factor, if it exists, will be a Hamiltonian cycle.
Exactly. Because it cannot be disconnected. It must be connected.
Right.
It must be Hamiltonian cycle. And conversely, if you take a Hamiltonian cycle, then that is always a connected two factor.
Right. Exactly. But what I'm not sure about is so there may not be a Hamiltonian cycle at all, right? But that's okay. That is not a problem, right? The graph may not have a Hamiltonian cycle at all.
Yeah, the graph may not have a Hamiltonian cycle at all, but what I am saying is that G is Hamiltonian if and only if G has a two factor. Means see. So first of all, if G has indeed two factor, then you
Then
know
it will have
that
to be
that two factor
Hamiltonian, and
cannot
it
be
is
disconnected. It must be
right.
connected. So that will be
Right.
Hamiltonian cycle. But conversely, suppose if G has a Hamiltonian cycle, then suppose means my backward direction will be wrong because Hamiltonian cycle is a connected two factor. So we can say that G has a connected two factor,
Right.
and
That's right.
that means J has a two factor.
That's right.
So we are
That
done.
is right. Yeah. That's it.
So we can say that G is Hamiltonian if and only if G has a two factor.
That's right. Exactly.
So
That
is
is
my
right.
argument right?
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, it follows from the definition. That's right. Right. Okay. So it turns out that we have a complete characterization of all the planar cubic graphs that do not have a disconnected two factor.
So basically means for this equivalence which I just stated, it is necessary to means we assume that G do not have a disconnected two factor.
Right. Right. You are looking at this particular class.
A particular class exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. Inside this class, you are saying that the graph is Hamiltonian if and only if it has a two factor.
Exactly.
That is correct.
Otherwise, my result is false. Backward direction is false.
Right.
Backward direction may not be hold true.
Yeah. Okay. So it turns out that this we have a complete answer to. Okay. So let's think about it. So it turns out that the proof is actually quite non-trivial, whatever that theorem is, but the answer is actually not too difficult to get or to guess.
Sir, can you give 1 minute to think?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like intuitively speaking, like if we take some planar embedding and if we shrink all these two-factor cycles into a single vertex, the whole graph should be planar. And for each of these cycles, if we think of every other cycle as some kind of a bridge to it, then all the bridges should be like what to say? Yeah, we shouldn't have any like skew bridges.
Okay. So where are you trying to get at? Are you trying to get to the characterization or?
Yeah, I'm not able to think of like a
Okay.
proper word for it.
Let's think about some small graph which does not have a disconnected two factor. Can anyone think of a planar cubic graph that does not have a disconnected two factor?
So
I'll give you, yeah.
So you want an example of a planar cubic graph that do not have a disconnected two factor, right?
Right. I want one example.
K4.
K4, exactly. So one example is K4, right? It's clear because you cannot even find two vertex disjoint cycles in K4, right? And notice that we are allowing multiple edges. So I can give you a silly example like this graph. Okay, this is generally called the theta graph. Okay, and it turns out using planarity and Tut's theorem in various different combinations, right? So basic facts about planar graphs and Tut's theorem. Diwan was able to show that these are the only planar cubic graphs that do not have a disconnected two-factor. This is from 2002. So this is, I will call it Diwan's theorem. Ajit Diwan is a professor at IIT Bombay. So he showed back in 2002 that every planar cubic graph except theta and K4 has a disconnected two-factor. I mean, there is no way we can actually prove this in the remaining 3 lectures, so I'm not going to even bother. If you're interested, I can share the paper with you. Just let me know and I will do that. Okay?
So, sir, I have a question. So here, basically, this theta graph is this graph. Means there are 2 vertices and 3 multi-edges.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
This is a theta graph, okay. And
Yeah.
he showed that, Diwan showed that every planar cubic graph, which is not theta or K4, has it have a disconnected factor, okay.
Exactly. So the
So
proof
basically,
uses...
basically, theta and K4, they are the only planar cubic graphs which have a disconnected two-factor.
Which do not have a disconnected two-factor.
Yeah. Means
Right.
theta and K4, they are the only planar cubic graphs that do not have a disconnected two-factor, yeah.
Right. In every other graph that is planar and cubic, you will be able to find a disconnected two-factor. Right? The difficult question, I mean, so clearly this, in particular for this case, although the proof is non-trivial, what it is telling you that disconnected two factors appear easily in these graphs. But connected two factor, which is Hamiltonian cycle, that is a difficult problem, right? I mean, that in general is an NP-complete problem, right? So this is, it's showing you the dichotomy between a connected two factors and disconnected two factors. Right? Also, planar cubic graphs in general do not have a Hamiltonian cycle. That was exactly Tut's counterexample to Tate's conjecture. Right? So in general, you may not have a connected two-factor in a planar cubic graph. But in 2002, Diwan showed that there is always a disconnected two-factor.
Sir, can you show me the link to his paper? Diwan's
Sure,
paper.
I will share it with you. I don't have it right now, the link, but just send me a reminder, or maybe I'll just put it on. I think I'll put it on Piazza for everybody since we are discussing this.
So means I don't know. So is the proof very complicated?
I have read it. It is long. It is not too difficult. But yeah, it uses planarity and Tut's theorem in innovative and creative ways. So it's definitely not a trivial proof, and it's lengthy because there is a good amount of case analysis.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you read it?
I did read it at one point. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So you know the proof, then you can do it in the class.
No, I can't. It's not possible to do this proof in 3 lectures.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it is pretty bit long. The proof is very bit long.
Yeah, it is long and it needs preparation. Like I prepare the proofs I present. I don't just
found the link. I have posted it.
Yeah, good. Thanks. Yeah, so I have to prepare for things. So yeah, this is not a proof that I'll be able to present right now. Yeah. Good. All right. Any questions or concerns? So yeah, if you are curious, you can check out the proof, go through it, or just skim through it and see what the main ideas are. But yeah, it has some amount of case analysis, and there might be ways to simplify that proof, but that definitely requires some work. Okay. All right. So now the planar case is done. So let's think about the bipartite case. Okay, so the next case is bipartite. All right. So I'll just pose the question. and then I will start a new page to talk about something more general, and we'll come back to this question tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So the
Sir,
question
I
is,
just
yeah.
had a question, means out of curiosity. So for such planar cubic graphs, which do not have a disconnected two factor, means we know that G is Hamiltonian if and only if J has a two factor.
Yeah, but that statement is not very useful anymore, right?
No.
Because
Now
are
what I am
exactly
saying is
these
that
two
if the
statements.
graph is three regular, if the graph is three regular, we can say that G has a two factor if and only if J has a one factor.
Yeah.
So the whole point is that we can say that G is Hamiltonian if and only if G has a one factor. Now a one factor is nothing but a perfect matching. So now from the Tadbirch formula, can we say anything about the size of minimum barrier of such a graph?
But are you looking at planar cubic graphs that do not have a disconnected two factor?
Yeah, means
But they are just these two graphs, so there is no point in applying complicated formulas to that.
No, I am not looking at planar cubic graphs. I am
Oh,
looking
okay.
simply at cubic graphs that do not have a disconnected two factor.
Okay, cubic graphs that do not have a disconnected two factor. Okay,
Yeah, for
let's
such
just write it
graphs,
down. So let's say I have let me just write it down. Let's say you have a cubic, i.e. three regular graph that does not have a disconnected two factor. Okay.
yeah, means now what I am trying to show for such graphs G, we can say that G is so first of all we have shown that G is Hamiltonian if and only if J has a two factor.
Yeah, so for such graph G is Hamiltonian if and only if G has a two factor.
Two factor. And do you know that since G is three regular, we can say that G has a two factor if and only if G has a one factor.
Yeah. Okay.
So we can say that G is Hamiltonian if and only if G has a one factor.
Okay.
Now my point is that my point is that so now a one factor is nothing but a perfect matching. So if we can find the size of maximum matching in such graph G, and if it is exactly equal to n by 2, then we have got a one factor, because a perfect matching must have exactly n by 2 edges. Now from the Tadbirch theorem, from the Tadbirch theorem, we know that alpha prime G is exactly equal to minimum of that formula. In that formula, we computed the size of a minimum.
Yeah, but in fact, give me a second. If your graph does not have a disconnected two factor, then actually it will be Hamiltonian, because cubic three regular graphs, if I just put two connected, right? I mean, I don't care about less connected graphs. So if you just put two connected, then they all have a perfect matching, right? We proved Peterson's theorem. So they are all going to be Hamiltonian.
No, it is not clear to me. Can you just repeat?
Well, so can I write one factor here? Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is fine.
The point is that in a cubic graph, if it is two connected, then we know it has a perfect matching. Right?
You mean by Peterson's theorem?
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So if your graph is two connected, it is going to have Hamiltonian cycles.
Okay, and if the graph is not two connected, then it cannot have Hamiltonian cycle by block decomposition.
Right, then it cannot have. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we can go to the block decomposition, and any cycle must be contained within a single block.
Right.
Exactly. So there cannot be any Hamiltonian cycle.
Okay.
Got it. Sir, in this paper, a statement has been written. So the statement is that a classical result in graph theory is Peterson theorem that every cubic bridgeless graph has a perfect matching and hence a two factor.
Right.
How does this follow?
You tell me.
If what is the statement? Can you repeat?
I think I'm missing something obvious, right?
Can you repeat the statement?
Yeah, I will tell you what it is.
The statement says that it's Peterson's theorem says that it has a matching and hence a two factor.
Kapil, here is your answer.
Where?
Here, the arrow I pointed. This observation.
Yeah, actually got it.
Actually, I entered the class late, so I did not see this. Okay, fine, yeah.
Okay, so that was one of the main points I want to make in this lecture. For three regular graphs, every statement about one factors is also a statement about two factors. I mean, it's a different statement, but you can phrase it.
I just entered the class late.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
okay, it's fine.
Right? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. All right.
No, but sir, I had a question. So here, means I am convinced that every two-connected cubic graph has a perfect matching.
Right.
So if the cubic
so they're
graph
all
is
going
not,
to be Hamiltonian.
Yeah, then it will always be Hamiltonian because because it doesn't have a disconnect two factor. So and if it is not two connected, then it cannot have a perfect matching.
Right. Exactly.
Because there is a Ham cycle. But my point is that if it has a perfect matching, so by Tadbart's theorem, we know that alpha prime g will be exactly equal to n by 2. So now means we define the concept of barrier for a given graph. So can we just find the size of a minimum barrier in such graph? In two connected cubic graphs.
In two connected cubic, so what is your main question? In two connected cubic graphs, you want to find the size of a minimum barrier.
Exactly, yeah.
Does your graph have a perfect matching or not?
It will always have, because you just wrote the statement.
Two connected cubic graph, right? So it is a matchable graph.
It is a matchable graph, exactly.
Then the empty set is a barrier.
Empty set. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. All right.
Sir.
Yeah.
So in the cubic graphs, if we get a one factor, we saw that how we get a two factor, and how they give us a three factor.
Did you say three factor?
In three factor, like both f and f. If f is the one factor, then f and its complement should give us the three factor, right?
Three factor or two factor? Are you talking about cubic graphs?
Yeah.
So three factor is just the whole graph, right? That is the only three factor.
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah, right? Yeah, sure.
So what is interesting is one factors and two factors. If
And
your graph is cubic, then those are interesting because the only three factor is the whole graph itself.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Right? Okay. Good. All right. So we have talked about the planar case. Let's talk about the bipartite case. Okay. So the question is, can we characterize the three regular bipartite graphs which have disconnected two factors? Okay. So it turns out the answer here is not so easy as the answer in the previous case. The planar case, the answer is easy. The theorem still has a non-trivial proof, right? But in this case, the answer itself is actually very fascinating. And in order to tell you this answer, I will have to go a bit deeper into matching theory. Also, that will give us a chance to explore some other topics. So tomorrow we will start discussing, right. So we know already that three regular bipartite graphs, in fact, three regular graphs, if they are two connected, we know that they have a perfect matching, right? But in fact, if you have a two connected three regular graph, each edge belongs to some perfect matching. Okay, this is a strengthening of Peterson's theorem, and it might be on your assignment. Peterson strengthening. Okay, so this property, each edge belongs to some perfect matching, is actually a very important property in matching theory, because if you are mostly interested in perfect matchings, which is what my interest in research is, then you don't need to worry about the other edges. You can assume that every edge belongs to some perfect matching. And this class of graphs is called matching covered graphs. So matching covered graphs, they have basically two properties. The graph is connected and each edge belongs to some perfect matching. Okay, and cubic two connected graphs are matching covered, right? So this statement is just saying all cubic two connected graphs are matching covered. Okay, so in order to tell you about the conjecture regarding this question, this conjecture is also due to Divan and independently due to some other authors. The two papers were published in the same year or so, 2001, 2002, something like that. So there is a conjecture about this question, and in order to tell you about it, I would like to go into matching covered graphs and introduce some terminology, and then I can tell you about the conjecture.
So basically, matching covered graph is a class of graphs which contains the all cubic two connected graphs.
Exactly.
Okay, okay. So are there any matching covered graph which is not cubic two connected?
Yeah, lots of them. You can take any complete graph on even number of vertices, right? If you don't like that, you can take a cubic. You can take a cubic three regular graph, right? Sorry, a cubic two connected graph. You can pair up the vertices, like if there will be some non-adjacent vertices, right? You can join them and basically put another perfect matching on your graph. So again, you will have the same property. Right? For example, if you have this graph, what I would do is I would add this edge, and this edge, right? That is already a perfect matching of the graph. So now I have a 4 regular matching covered graph.
Okay, 4 regular matching covered. Okay. So it
Yeah.
can't be cubic. Okay, fine.
Right. So in general, this is a very rich class of graphs. So if this is the first time you're seeing this definition, it might seem that this is very special, but actually it is a very rich class of graphs. And for most problems in matching theory that I am interested in, which are about perfect matchings, you just need to solve problems for this class of graphs. So tomorrow we'll talk more about matching covered graphs, and then I will show you the connection with this above question. Okay. Good. So that's all for today.
So tomorrow we are going to discuss matching covered graphs, right?
Yeah, we will discuss matching covered graphs, and we may also, depending on how much time we have, we may also go back to this question about two-factor Hamiltonian stuff. All right, so I'll stop recording, but in case there are any questions, I'm still here for 5-10 minutes.